Okay, what I'd like to do is provide you with a brief video giving sort of an overview of this new treatment approach, which Dr. Daniel DeBrule and myself have been developing. It's known as the Brief Digital Accelerator Treatment for Gambling, which we entitled the BDAT-G, sort of a nod to my roots in Louisiana. And this is the clinical guide and resources workbook. Uh, Pretty simple and easy to follow. It contains 5 sections, which we're still continuing to pare down, and it's meant to provide a treatment that can be used in a lot of different contexts, but really just to have a conversation about a individual's gambling, to get a little bit of information on what types of gambling they do, how much they're spending on gambling, if they see their gambling as problematic in any ways, and then to conduct a brief digital exercise to help inform individuals about the long-term outcomes of gambling, and then to help the person to develop a change plan if that's something that, based on the intervention, they would like to attempt. And also as a way to provide additional resources as well. So you can see that the guide contains an overview to kind of explain the context of the treatment. And following that, there's a section which is an introduction to the treatment and a brief assessment. And when I say brief, it's really just asking open-ended questions about the gambling. How often do you gamble? How much do you spend on gambling? And there's a form with the guide, which a person can use to follow a treatment provider. There's a section entitled Motivational Enhancement, and just asking, again, some open-ended questions about, if the individual has any reasons for changing their gambling behavior, if that's something they might be interested in, and sort of getting a marker of how motivated they are to make any changes, if at all. This section is not meant to sort of challenge the individual or to suggest that they should make changes, but if there are any reasons that they'd like to make a change, this is a way to sort of identify that. And following these 2 sections, then it goes into the accelerator intervention, which I'll show you now. This is a Excel program that works. This particular one works just like a scratch-off ticket vending machine. So you can select between 3 different $2 scratch-off tickets. The odds that these tickets were programmed with come from the state lottery website, and you can insert money into the machine just like you would a normal one. So right now I have $60 put into the machine, and by selecting either the ×1 or ×20 option, I can observe the outcomes of the next ticket or the next 20 tickets. So for instance, we'll go ahead and purchase 1 ticket. Okay, and so you can see there's a couple different outputs, but they're all indicating the same thing. It looks like on that ticket, I won $5. So I spent 2 and I won 5, so that basically means I'm up $3 from starting, and I started with neither up nor down, and it indicates that that was a winning ticket, not a losing ticket. I'm up $3. It displays the actual outcomes of that ticket, and you can see there's this line graph which shows that I'm now $3 ahead. You can continue to play 1 ticket at a time, and part of the intervention is to play about 20 tickets to begin, just 1 ticket at a time, to kind of understand how the game works. I'll go ahead and play through about 5 tickets. Okay, so you can see that there's some coloring here, and the way this works is every ticket that is a win will be displayed in white. Every ticket that is a loss, or meaning that I did not win anything, will be displayed in red. And your total cash, if you are in the negative, so if you've lost money overall, and now I'm below 0, then it will display in the red. So sequences in white will indicate that I'm above 0 overall. Sequences in the red will indicate I'm down overall. overall. You can see I'm down $5 total from when I began, and again, this is still displaying just the outcome of that last ticket. Now, the benefit of this program, though, is not to simulate one ticket at a time, but to simulate many tickets at a time, so sequences of 20. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this scratch-off ticket, and we're going to play 20 of those. Okay, so you can see in that sequence of 20 tickets, I had, it looks like 2 or 3 wins. They were each just $4 wins. But I had actually a pretty long string of losses. And if you want to get a quick understanding of just that batch of tickets, you can see right here, yeah, I had 3 winners and 17 losers in that batch. And overall, that cost me $28. So I spent $40 to buy $22 tickets. I had some winnings, but those winnings did not overcome how much I spent, and so that leaves me with negative 28. Now, since I started playing the game, I'm down $33. The simulation is meant to walk the person through several months of gaming outcomes, depending on just how many tickets they play. Oh, okay, so I'm out of my initial investment, and I'm down $59 total, so I'm going to go ahead and enter about another $100. All right, and I'm going to select a different ticket because that one's not doing too well. And I can simulate very quickly this $100 investment. You can see I had a couple wins there, but it doesn't take much to recognize that there is a trend. And that trend seems to be pretty steadily negative. Now, these are based on the actual odds, which are provided on the state websites. You can get them sometimes on the backs of the tickets themselves. And so it's often very surprising to individuals that this is the trend. Now, if we were to skip ahead, we could see that this isn't just a bad string, as some individuals might believe, but why don't we go ahead and skip ahead, and I'll run several more simulations. Okay, so in just a few minutes, I simulated the outcomes for about 800 tickets, and as you can see, based on the amount I invested, I'm down $860 in total. And believe it or not, the only time that I was ever actually up in that entire sequence was in the first 2 tickets I purchased. So you can see the sequence. If you follow the list for all 800 tickets, I was down the entire time. Although you can see I had quite a few winning tickets. It's just the wins never fully make up for the amount spent. And that's a pattern that's very difficult to see. For most individuals, they're just playing a few tickets here and a few tickets there. If you buy 2 tickets, it looks like you lost, but then, oh, one of the tickets was a winner, and if I bought a few more, maybe I had 2 wins, a string of losses. You could easily discount and say, well, I haven't been doing that well, but then eventually you get a couple more wins. And you can see in a sequence of 800, there were several little bumps. These are more significant wins, and to an individual who's not keeping track, those might actually seem meaningful. That, wow, I really can win. I really, maybe I just need to keep playing. But when you can observe the entire outcome, it really is a negative trend, and you can lose quite a bit of money. And the thing about this simulator is, well, maybe that was one bad sequence. Well, we can repeat this exercise endlessly just by hitting reset. Now we can start basically with new reels and test our luck again. And through many simulations, individuals can come to really truly understand the odds, that the long-term chances of winning are so slim as to be non-existent, and so there's this could be a very risky activity. Through completing these simulations and then following up with a conversation about what that means for the person's gambling. They can then set some goals, discuss, what that means about their gambling, and based on what they've learned, if they would like to do anything potentially to make some changes. And we have a plan which is called a SMART goals worksheet. And we can provide additional resources to that individual. I'll talk a little bit about what some of the research suggests about this particular approach. But hopefully that gives you a bit more insight and can help you to figure out how this may be useful to people, or how we might make it even more useful to helping people to overcome their gambling problems. Okay, so thank you so much for watching.